Let's do some COVID-19 related stories because persons who have taken a single shot dose of Johnson & Johnson vaccines may have to take another second jab. Johnson & Johnson last week announced that a booster dose of a vaccine given 2 months after the first shot was 94% protective against symptomatic COVID-19 in the US and 100% effective against severe COVID-19 disease.
If Johnson & Johnson remains a single dose, then we have a similar coverage. But if it becomes a double dose, then we still have a gap that we need to get in additional vaccines to look at. So that's what shows down there. So you have the 16.55 million for Johnson & Johnson, but as long as it's one. But the chances are that it may not be one. It may just be a 2-dose booster, so we need to buy more vaccines for that. There's a lot going on in the world, and that is why some of us continue to track. Now we are having a third booster for Pfizer, but there's the possibility that there will be a booster, a second dose for Johnson. So we watch until the evidence is very clear. If it's clear, we will also abide by the same issue.
You heard the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje. Well, we know the country has been receiving a lot more doses of vaccines in the last few days. Let me just run by you exactly the number in terms of vaccines that have come to the country so far and the individuals are expected to be inoculated with these vaccines that have come. Remember that the country's target of inoculating 20 million citizens as put together by government remains the target. Now, let me run by you. So AstraZeneca vaccines, we have 3,204,050 of those that have come through so far since the vaccines began coming to Ghana. There's also Sputnik vaccines, 21,000 of those vaccines have arrived here in Ghana. And for the Johnson & Johnson, which we are learning that could be the second jab, which is the booster jab for individuals, we have 422,450 of those that have come through so far. And then recently, the Moderna vaccine, some of which were received from Germany and the United Kingdom, we have 1,229,620 of those. So in total, nearly 5 million doses of COVID vaccines, the various vaccines have been received in the country so far to continue with the vaccination drive that the Ghana Health Service is undertaking. And now we have expected arrivals, 145,000 AstraZeneca vaccines through the COVAX facilities expected in the coming days. We also have another 122,000 of those AstraZeneca vaccines also from the COVAX facility, and then 396,000 from Oxford, US, as well as Germany. And then we have 1.3 million of Pfizer vaccines from the US. And so more doses of Johnson & Johnson are also set to arrive through a government-to-government arrangements, which we understand in the coming days we'll be having clarity on all of those. And now we also have the vaccines that have been administered so far. We have 1.6 million that have been administered so far out of the 1.6 million, that is, and some of them are first doses, which is 127,000, and also those who have received both doses, 625,000, and then those who are fully vaccinated, nearly 800,000 persons, and this includes persons who have also received their single-shot doses of a Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So those are the figures of the vaccines that are expected, those that have arrived already, and the numbers in terms of vaccination drive that the country is embarking on. In the coming days, a lot more are expected to arrive in the country, and the country's target of inoculating 20 million of its citizens remains a target for government. Let's still stay with this because mass COVID-19 vaccination exercises in parts of the northern and savannah regions have received low patronage on the first day of the exercise. Residents blame health officials for the low publicity of the exercise. In the Savannah region, the Health Directorate took delivery of 9,760 doses of AstraZeneca vaccines, while that of the Northern region received 14,800 doses. A visit to some of these centers by our reporter in the region show most of the centers were virtually empty. My colleague Christopher Amwako is joining me via Zoom. He's been visiting some of the centers. Christopher, tell us about whether the situation has changed from what we've been reporting all morning. Are some of the centers still empty or deserted?
Yes, so there hasn't been any change of that sort, but just that a few of the people are coming to take part in the exercise. Earlier, when the exercise began around 9:30 a.m. The place was virtually empty up to about 11 a.m. when people started coming to take part in the exercise. So as you can see in the background, Kamala, you can see that these are students who have come for the exercise. But aside that, the number is not just encouraging at all. Most of the people I spoke with earlier complained that there hasn't been any serious publicity as to how the mass inoculation exercise will be rolled out in the areas. I've been to several of the centers who, according to the East Gonja Municipal Director of Health, are yet to even train some of the officials before they can start with the exercise in some of the designated centers. So the start of the exercise, mass inoculation exercise, hasn't been encouraging at all on day one of the exercise.
Thank you very much, Christopher Marco.